For most of my life, I've been a pretty introverted kid. I'd never really be the kind of kid who want all the attention on him, and I've always been pretty quiet throughout my years. And I've been this way for the majority of my life, probably all of it actually, because I've been told that even as a young boy man thing, that I was still quite a shy little boy. So all my life, I guess, I've been pretty shy and pretty introverted. I never really paid attention to it though. I never really cared much about it until middle school. But through my early years, it didn't really have any effect on me. I mean, I was a bit shy at first, but I mean, I was just a little kid. Little kids, they're gonna have fun no matter what. It's a lot easier for a little kid to make friends too, so that wasn't much of an issue back then. But things started getting pretty hard for me once middle school started, and once I started going through puberty. Of course, that time of life is pretty difficult for anyone who goes through that, male or female, introverted or extroverted. Puberty and going through middle school and that kind of time period can just be a difficult part of life. But my middle school experience was not the best, to put it lightly. Through 5th and about 6th or 7th grade, I was bullied a lot, verbally and physically. I started puberty pretty early, so I was an easy target. My voice was starting to change already in about 5th or 6th grade, and I'd already started growing and changing, and I was getting acne from puberty. And of course that made me, like I said, a very easy target of bullying. I'd get picked on a lot for being so quiet and for having acne and just for going through puberty so early basically, and that continued for about 2 or 3 years, from 5th to 6th or 7th grade, like I said, and it really did a number on me. From that point on, I was deathly afraid of social situations in school and just that kind of thing. I was never really the same after those 2 years. I became much more self-conscious, I was much more critical about my own being, but maybe that just comes with growing up. I also became much more to myself and not really expressing anything with any other people. And from that experience, I was pretty scarred. And I was still pretty young at the time. It was only 5th grade when it started, so barely a preteen. But as middle school went on, from 7th to 8th grade, I slowly gathered more and more friends, little by little. 8th grade, I still remember as the best school year of my life, because I had developed a lot of friends, and I was not used to having so many friends. It was an awesome experience for me, and I cherished those days. But once I had to go to middle school, I moved states. So of course I would not be with any of the friends that I had developed throughout the years in middle school. And high school for everyone is a difficult experience, not just for me. It's not just for shy people either. It's something that can really poop you up if you're not careful. In high school, I quickly became an outcast. Nobody knew me, and I wasn't able to join any circles of friends. So when I came to high school, I didn't have any friends, and to this day, I'm still struggling with making friends. I still am in high school. I'm a senior. I still don't have that many friends. High school has been much harder than middle school. And my shyness has definitely peaked in the high school years. And of course, high school isn't the nicest place to all people. So through the early years of high school, I went through a lot of depression, and I was really just upset at myself. I saw myself as a failure for not being able to communicate and make friends with other people, to join social circles, and just to be like everyone else. I was such an oddity at my high school. Nobody else was like me, and I was the only person who seemed to not have any friends. And I was just so mad at myself for being how I was. I never considered self-harm or anything like that. But in the early years of high school, about freshman and sophomore year, the thought was on my mind a lot. The early years of high school, I just felt so alone. It was a feeling I'd never felt so harshly before. It was a feeling I couldn't stand feeling again. Luckily, I've grown to accept why I am the way I am. But as my shyness and introversion was growing worse and worse by the day, I began to get curious of what exactly it was that made me the way I was. And after some research of my own, I discovered that I had a high possibility of having something called social anxiety disorder, or S.A.D. That basically means that social situations and any socializing causes great fear and anxiety in me, and it makes it extremely difficult for me to socialize or be in social situations of any kind. My mom took me to a psychologist, and he confirmed what I started to believe once I had discovered social anxiety disorder. And so having the realization of what I actually had, and knowing that it's not just me out there in the world, that there are people who also go through what I go through, that was a good experience for me. I was better able to come to grips with what I was going through. But no matter how hard I seemed to try it, I just never seemed to be able to socialize, come out of my shell. To this day, it's still harder than anything for me to try to come out of my shell and engage in conversation, even the simplest of conversations. I'll freeze up, I'll go blank, I'll stutter, I get flushed, flustered, I even start getting nauseous, my face goes red. And what people who don't have S.A.D don't understand is that it's not that we don't really want to be to ourselves so much and so shy, I guess. It's just that sometimes we're just incapable of socializing. So as I was going through high school, the early years especially, not being able to really express myself in any way, I wanted to find a way where I could be able to express emotion, express who I was. And through that, I discovered my great love of music. Music to me was my savior. In those early days of high school, if I didn't discover music, I don't even know where I'd be right now. Music is a form of expression unlike any other. Any kind of music is wonderful, and the emotions you can convey with music is just beautiful to me. And so when I was about 13 or 14, I started teaching myself to play guitar. And as I slowly got better at guitar, I started picking up other instruments like bass and piano and drums. My end goal was to eventually become sort of a one-man band, and I've reached that goal. Being able to play so much, I could finally convey what I was feeling, what I was thinking, what I was wanting through music in a way that I could never do as far as social expression goes. I didn't feel like such an empty husk anymore. I could finally do something that could contribute to the world. So now we come to around present day in my life story. A year ago or so, slightly less than that, but we're getting around to a year, I really was discovering YouTube and its fullest potential and what it could really do for the world. And this kind of change was something that I wanted more than anything to be a part of. My favorite YouTube channel has and always will be Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter Let's Play. They are the people that also really helped me out through the years of my high school, and I can't thank them enough for what they did. They gave me something to laugh about. They made me laugh in a time where I felt like laughter was such an oddity. So I followed in their footsteps and became a YouTube gaming personality, because gaming was another window into another world that really helped me out through the years of my social anxiety. My goal for creating the YouTube channel, basically I've always just wanted to show people like me, people suffering from S.A.D, that you can triumph. If you try hard enough, you can accomplish your dreams, you can accomplish what you want to do. What I really wanted to do with my channel is to show people around the world, with and without social anxiety, people that just have something that holds them back, that they were given by birth, that they can overcome that they don't have to just let that rule their lives. Of course, social anxiety made it very hard for me at first to be able to make videos and have to put myself out there to the world and sort of in a way make myself vulnerable. But I was able to overcome my fear, and as I started doing it more and more, I really started loving doing it and growing used to the vulnerability. But the vulnerability is also exciting in a way. It's scary, but it makes me feel like I'm doing something. I'm taking a risk, and a lot of times I'd see success and growth from that risk. And that's kind of what I've always wanted to do. So basically, I've always just wanted to give a voice to those who find it difficult to find theirs. I wanted to show people like me that they can overcome what they're going through, and that they don't have to succumb to the shyness, to the solitude. And I hope as I continue to grow that I will always convey this message. I haven't really made it clear to anyone yet because I've been pretty small, but rounding 50 subscribers now, I feel like it's a good time to really let it out to everyone, the reason why I'm doing this. I'm not just doing this out of my own enjoyment. Of course I love doing it and I do really enjoy it, but that's not the sole purpose. I'm not doing it to get famous. I'm not doing it for money. I don't need fame or money to make me happy. What would really make me happy is to be able to change the world in even the smallest way. If I even help just one person with social anxiety, or one person in general, then I will consider myself a success in life. So I'm going to try to continue to grow my channel and always have this belief. And I just want to say thank you to all the people who have subscribed to me, who have supported me, and I couldn't appreciate you more. You're truly helping me be able to succeed in my goal, and I hope you realize how amazing you are for doing such a thing. I can't thank you enough. Social anxiety is something that makes one's life much more difficult than it should be. It makes even the simplest of things more difficult than people without it could ever understand. I just want to be the example to everyone around the world to say that this can be overcome, and if I can do it, then what's stopping you? This is Musi Gamer, and thank you.